Amy Thurman back again with 100 Days, 100 Emotions. We're on day 22. Today we're talking about courageous, the emotion courageous. And I'm so excited to get into this today. Before we do, I want to call attention to, yes, the fact if you have been watching these, I did get a haircut. Like my hairdresser today, she said, "You need a boss babe haircut." And so I said, "Okay, whatever, just let's do it, you know." So this is what I ended up with. And I absolutely love it. So I know that you have probably noticed if you've been watching these. So I wanted to just mention that up front. I hope you have been enjoying these. I've gotten some really good feedback. Remember, it's 100 days worth of a different emotion each day, and I'm featuring special guests each day. So if you would like to be featured, or you would like to talk about a specific emotion that changed your life or has impacted you in some way, I would love to have you on here. Just reach out to me in some way, shape, or form through a comment or through a message, and I will get you plugged in. So let's get into it today to talk about feeling courageous. My special guest today is Heather LaFond. Heather and I met through an online group. So we have never actually really met before. So this is our first time to hop on here together and kind of chat. Thank you so much for being here, Heather.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, of course. I'm so thankful that you would choose to spend your time with us today. I Now where are you located?
I am in Wisconsin.
Wisconsin. Okay, I love that accent. Wisconsin. I'm in Oklahoma, so I have a southern accent. People are usually ask me, "Where are you from?" because my accent is so strong. But it just is, right? It is what it is. So Heather and I are going to talk about the emotion courageous today, and the text that I have says that courage involves the ability to confront fear, pain, danger, uncertainty, or any difficult situation with strength and determination and the inner strength to persevere. Now, I on an earlier episode, we talked about being brave and what bravery means. And so in my mind, I was thinking, how are courage and bravery different? They're very, very similar. And so what we learned about bravery, if you will recall, or if you watched that, is pretty much the same, except what I learned was that bravery is more about doing it without showing fear. And so in my mind, that made me think like bravery is more in the moment. You just respond, you just react. Somebody's calling me. Let's see. Am I here? Okay, I'm still here. Um, that bravery is more about you just responding, you're just reacting, you're just doing it because it needs to be done. You're not thinking about it, it's just happening in the moment. Where I think courage or courageous is more about we have the fear, yet we do it anyway. We're thinking about what could happen if we do that, if we do this, yet we choose to do it anyway because we are afraid or the pain, danger, all those things that it mentions, but we do it anyway. And so as if you have watched before, you know that I don't ask my guest what they're going to share because I want to be in the moment. I want to be hearing it right along with you. So I'm curious what you have to share with us today, Heather, about the feeling courageous or the emotion courageous.
Well, as you were talking about like the difference between brave and courage, it kind of came to me that being brave is almost like your survival instinct, right? So you're not even thinking about it. You're just doing what you need to, getting that adrenaline rush and going into the fear. With being courageous, like you said, we feel the fear and we do it anyway, knowing that the fear is always going to be there, especially when we're doing stuff that's outside of our comfort zone. And that's how
Right.
we grow, right? That's how we expand in life. But my story involving being courageous is a story that I like to share with individuals who ask how I even got into the space that I'm in as far as coaching. And that was in a time in my life where I had been very down. I didn't see any way out of the situation that I was in. I was really depressed. I had resorted to emotional eating and drinking my feelings away and just stuffing it down. And no matter how many times I tried to get out of that darkness by myself. It wasn't until I had a friend that was close to me that had unfortunately had lost his life in a car accident
Hmm.
that was kind of that slap in the face for me to get my SHIT together and to take that courageous action to change. And so, I'd like to say that we can find the courage within us, but sometimes it takes this like cosmic two by four from the universe for us to be pushed into expansion and growth and getting out of our pity party, right? We can't
Yeah.
always find it within. Sometimes it takes an external force. And so that's kind of how I became courageous. Was obviously I was in fear mode that entire time because I wasn't even wanting to face the things that I knew I needed to change in order to have a healthier life, to pursue my dreams. I had been lost, and I was so emotionally beat down just from surrounding myself by people that weren't supportive, that tended to nitpick, that I just couldn't find it within myself at that moment to get out of it. And so I always refer to my friend Matt as being that guiding light, like
Hmm.
that lighthouse, to guide my way. When I couldn't find that courage within, it took losing that friend for me to have that spark of courage to get out of that situation in my life. And that's what has driven me to become a coach and to help guide others, because I didn't have anyone that was there to show me the way. But losing someone is what motivated me to get out of that place. And if I can be that guiding light to someone else, to tell them and show them that that fear is always going to be there, and we need to feel it, and we need to do it anyway, go for it anyway.
Yes. Oh my goodness. So, so good. We have so much in common. First of all, I am so, so sorry about your friend, about your loss. That had to be so traumatic for you. Um, but I understand, like, so many of the things you said resonate with me so deeply because I experienced those as well. Like, I, fell and passed out and landed on my face and broke my neck and was flat in a bed for 23 hours a day for nearly a year in that same deep dark place, and needed to make some changes, but just wasn't doing what I needed to do to make those changes. And it took, like you said, a cosmic two by four to pass out, break my neck, to get my attention to, okay, something needs to change here, something has to be different. And I think a lot of times it takes that you're so right, that sometimes we're at a place where we're so deep and dark that we can't find that light within a I mean, we all have that light within us, but sometimes it's buried so deeply, or maybe it's so far at the top and we're so far at the bottom, it's just covered up. We just can't see it. And it takes something external, something big like that, some kind of trauma even, to get our attention and to help us see that, oh, there is a light there. I need to go that way, or, I need to change this or that in my life. And something else you said is, one of the main reasons I'm doing this series is to help people understand that emotions are normal, that feeling them is a healthy part of life, that exactly what you said, we push them down, we try to make sure that nobody sees them because we don't want to see them, we don't want to acknowledge them. And so we do that, trying to cover everything up, but it's the healthier way is to allow them to surface, to feel them, to allow them to be what they are, because they're there to teach us something. And so to help us learn the lesson, feeling them, recognizing them, and feeling them is such a healthy path. But it's the hard path. Like, it's not the easy way, but it's the most healthy for us. So, oh my gosh, so much of what you said resonates with me so deeply. I love that so much. Do you have anything else you want to add?
Well, I like to refer to emotions as kind of being those little check engine lights that come on. They're trying
Yes.
to signify something to us. And, obviously the good emotions, we're all for that. But the stuff that doesn't make you feel so good, we try to avoid. But healing happens through feeling. So we have to feel that discomfort. And the only way to really expand is to become uncomfortable. I ask myself every single day what I can do that's going to make me a little bit uncomfortable, because I know the more that I step outside of that zone of comfort, the more I'm going to grow and expand. And when we have those little check engine lights coming on with all these different emotions and we just kind of stuff them down and throw them off to the side, that's when the universe has to create something to get our attention, like blowing the engine, so that we
Yes.
take note of, like, oh crap, like I need to fix this now. Like, I can't move forward. My car won't go forward without addressing this. So it's beautiful when you're able to kind of take stock and inventory of that and what's going on emotionally and address those before it becomes too much of an issue.
Oh, that's such a good analogy because that's exactly what it is, the check engine light, but we keep ignoring it. Like, I have done that with my own vehicle, like, in real life before, like, "Ah, it's fine, it's running fine, we're good," until, yes, it just stops running,
Yeah.
comes to a complete stop. Yes, that's exactly how it is in our bodies, so we need to be more cognizant of those engine lights are there for a reason, they're telling us something, um, and then you're talking about courageous, a feeling of courage. It's like yes, we discussed that feeling the fear and doing it anyway, but that what's on the other side of that can be life changing. Because I know in my situation, when Senegents asked me to share my story on stage in front of 2,000 women, I was terrified. Like, I had made a commitment to myself when I decided to fight to live instead of wanting to die, that I was going to use my story to help other people. But I didn't intend for it to go that way. I didn't intend for it to be in front of 2,000 women. That was my initial way to do it. And so I initially said yes to them, like, okay, I made a commitment to myself. This is a step in that direction. And then the fear started hitting me like, what have I done? What do I think? What am I doing? And I remember reaching out to several of my friends and telling them, I'm just going to tell them no. I'm going to tell them I can't do it because, make up a reason or something because I was so afraid. But I ended up doing it. I did it and I worked through that fear. And it literally has been life changing for me. Like, the other side of that, you're feeling the fear, stepping out into that place that's uncomfortable, which is exactly what you said. It was so uncomfortable for me, but I did it anyway. And that was life changing for me. That's why I'm doing this today, because of that one instance of me having the courage to step beyond my fear and do it anyway. And so I'm sure you found that too, that it can be life changing for you.
Yeah, and the more that you are courageous and you take action and do things that are uncomfortable, the easier it gets. Because I'm sure you can look back at yourself before this journey and before your incident, and you can see who you were at that point and you were being, and the transition to now, the transformation to now, and that wouldn't have happened without you taking that bold and courageous action.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So much growth, so much learning has occurred from that one instance where I chose to say yes anyway. And yeah, yeah, absolutely. Oh, I was getting ready to say something and I have absolutely lost it now. You're just saying so many good things. I can I the question that I want to ask today, because I like to ask a question for the people watching, because I would love for you to get involved. I would love for you to join our conversation. And today's question is, do you consider yourself to be courageous? Oh, I know what I was going to say now. This is how my brain works. It comes back around. Um, that you said the more you do it, the more courageous you are, the more steps you take into courage. I feel like the more you trust yourself, that's what happens with me. Like, the more I do it, the more risks, if you will, I take that are fearful, that are uncomfortable. the more I learn to trust myself, that I become my own biggest cheerleader. That's what I am now. I'm my own biggest cheerleader. I'm talking myself through it, sometimes out loud, but I'm like, you got this, you got this. Come on, stop with that. Stop with that. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. And I just have learned to trust myself and talk my way, cheer myself on to doing other scary things that are life changing. And so I would consider myself to be living a lifestyle of courage, of cheering myself on through doing scary things, to take steps to courage. How would you respond to that? Do you feel like you're courageous?
Yeah, I feel that I am a courageous person. I set big goals, and I'm constantly stretching myself, because if nothing changes, nothing changes, right? So if we want to have a different life, if we want a better life, if we want to have more impact in the world, we have to continue to step outside of that zone of comfort. So once we stay in that little box, that comfort zone, we're not going to grow and expand. We're not going to have that life that we dream of doing the same things. We have to change it up. And so, like you were saying, you learn to trust yourself. And that's also a reflection of you being confident, right? And so many of us
Mm.
struggle when it comes to confidence because we haven't kept our word to ourselves.
Ooh, that's good.
When you break your word, you break your promises to yourself, you lose that confidence. Because if you can't trust yourself to keep that word, then you're not going to have confidence. You know, when you say, like, tomorrow, I'm going to get up early and I'm going to do my meditation, I'm going to move my body, whatever it is, and then you hit the snooze button, you're breaking those promises and your word to yourself. So then you don't trust yourself, you don't have confidence, and then you don't trust others. So I know that's kind of, for me, like being confident and having courage is something that kind of goes hand in hand. So when you have the ability to keep the promises that you make to yourself, you trust yourself to be courageous, to take that action, knowing that you have your back, if anything.
Oh, that's so good. You're so full of these nuggets of wisdom today, or all the time. I don't know. Like I said, we've never visited before. I'm loving this so much.
So,
So many little golden nuggets today. And it's so true. Like, we do have to trust ourselves first before we can trust others, and we have to be willing to do what we want to do for ourselves inside. Oh, so so good, so much goodness. I wish we could extend this, make it a longer one. But I
yeah.
guess if you want to learn more, then Heather has a coaching program that we're going to talk about here in a minute, and you can reach out to her for that. That's so so good. Okay, so if you have watched these before, you know that I have an AI image generator that I asked to create an image that represents the emotion of the day. And so today I ask it to create an image that represents the emotion courageous. And it blows my mind how every time this is so spot on. It's like, oh, so good. So let me pull this up and I'll full screen it here so that we can see it better. And just kind of look at it and talk about it for a second. It's just, this one is just awe inspiring to me when I look at it. It's just so beautiful. I just see so much in it, talking about courage and being courageous, and this person at the bottom standing on this little plateau that's part of a hill that maybe he or she has had to climb to get there. Or then I thought, or it could be that this person is maybe up there, maybe he is heading into that path in front of him. And maybe that's where the courage comes in, is that looks daunting. Like, that path in front of him looks very daunting, but maybe he's going to head that way. So good. Is there anything you pick up in this, Heather?
Yeah, just it looks to me like their focus, like, towards the light. Like we were kind of
Yeah.
saying before, how, we were in dark places and we couldn't see the light at that time. Like, he's seeing that light, and even though there may be challenges that surround him, he's still focused in that direction towards something positive. And that's so powerful when it comes to our mindset, because wherever we focus our energy the most is what we're going to experience. So if you're focused towards that end goal or that big goal or happiness, love, whatever it is, and you know that there are going to be challenges, there are going to be obstacles that are going to come up to try to challenge you, and you need to be resilient and stay focused on that big goal, because when we're focused in that direction, everything is so much easier to kind of overcome.
Oh, that's so good. Yes, I see it now. See, this is my brain struggles with this, but that's so good. Like to see that and I saw that the sun was in the center there and it's radiating out everything. That's the focus. But to say it the way you did, oh, that's so good. My brain didn't come up with that. So, oh, I'm so thankful for people like you who can help me see things from a different perspective. That's so good. And yes, the light, focusing on the light, where focus goes, energy flows. Tony Robbins likes to say, and it's so true. What we focus on is what we get. And so focusing on the light and the positive, that's what I do. You know, that's how I'm able to live the life I live is by choosing to what I focus on. And so, oh my goodness, this has been so good. So good, Heather. Thank you so much for being here. If you wouldn't mind to share with the viewers what you do and how they can contact you, that would be amazing.
I am a spiritual mindset and empowerment coach. So I help people to break free from the stuff that's been holding them back so that they can live their most empowered life. So I deal a lot with the subconscious mind through hypnotherapy, NLP, timeline therapy, and I also have some spiritual gifts and energy work that I like to utilize with my clients to be able to propel them forward. And the best place to get a hold of me would be on Facebook.
Okay, awesome. I will tag you in the description on, excuse me, on Facebook. If you're watching on LinkedIn or on YouTube, please message me or put a comment if you would like to connect with Heather, and I will connect the two of you together. So Heather, you have a lot of things that you're working with that you're able to help people with. Is there like a program that you have, or do you cater it to the person what they need? Do they do like an intake call, that kind of thing
Yeah,
initially?
I like to do a discovery call just to kind of see where people are coming from and make sure that this is a fit, that they're ready for this, and also that I'm a fit for them as a coach. It has to work both ways. So that's how I like to get started with individuals. And I do have a group coaching program called Align. And so that is a group container with also some one-on-one, but my program that is really tailored to the individual is my transformative breakthrough sessions, and those we get really deep and we really remove those obstacles and those blockages and those limiting beliefs and all of that stuff so that you can get out of your own way and move forward.
So good. There is so much power in that. Oh my goodness, because I do a little bit of that as well, and so I know it can be so powerful. And so if you are interested in this at all, please reach out to Heather or reach out to me, and I will connect the two of you and get you working together to help get you on the right path. I'm getting a little tongue tied here. Again, thank you, Heather, so much for being here and for choosing to spend your time with us and sharing these wisdom nuggets with us. It's so good.
Yes.
If you have found this helpful or valuable or think anyone else might find it helpful, please share it. I would love to be able to help others. And if you want to be involved in any way, please reach out to me, send me a message or comment, and I would love to get you plugged in. So thank you guys for watching and for continuing to hang in there with us as we go through these 100 days, 100 emotions. If you have not caught the rest of them and want to check them out, go to hashtag 100 days, 100 emotions. It's the number 100 and you can find them there. All right. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.